We're the United States of America. Unity and oneness is what we're made of. One nation under God, it's plain to see. We're showing the whole world what a country should be. United we stand in America, hand in hand in America. Together as one in a land that we love. United we stand in America.
Good morning, everyone out there. Welcome to Changing Times. It is Wednesday, November the 5th. I tell you what, it's going to be another beautiful day in Southwest Missouri. We are live at the Axe Media Group headquarters in Springfield, Missouri. This is show number 259. We've been blessed 259 times, Dr. Mary, and we have great guests today. And let's just go ahead, and I'm Lynn Morris.
And I'm Dr. Mary Byrne.
And I'm excited. I'm going to go ahead and get started on talking to these two ladies. We've got Angela Hudson right there, and she's the executive director of Least of These. You're going to find out a lot about a great organization that's helping a lot of people on food insecurity and a lot of other issues. So we're going to find out about these people. And then you are Jackie Breedlove Harness. And you are, what are you? You got this long title.
I do. So, I'm the Director of Development and Community Relations.
Yeah, I always knew community relations, but development. Okay, so very, very good. So let's just go ahead and get started. So, Angela, just tell us a little bit more about Least of These. Kind of get started.
Absolutely. Well, first, I just want to say good morning. And then also thank you guys both, Lynn and Dr. Mary, for having us on. What a great privilege and opportunity it is for us to be here and share more about the organization. But yes, Least of These is the only full-service food pantry in Christian County. And we strive to provide at least 5 days of food with, worth of supplemental food. That's like a full cartload of food that we are supplying the family. And as a choice pantry, we work hard to preserve the dignity by allowing our clients to choose from a menu each time of options which include fresh meats, produce, dairy, and shelf-stable items. I think that's really important to point out because protein is so important. Getting those vegetables and being able to provide the fresh produce is so important. And so I think a lot of times people don't realize that we are able to also include those food items along with those shelf-stable items. And we also get donated hygiene products as well that we are able to provide our clients.
Well, so you do a lot more. So, Jackie, what else does Least of These do besides just food?
Least of These also provides resources and education. So food, everybody needs food to survive. So when we are able to provide food for a family and meet that basic survival need, we are also able to connect with them. We build relationships with them, speak with them every single month when they come for their grocery appointment. And we are building relationships, familiarity, trust, so that we are able to take deeper dives into what's causing their poverty or food insecurity. And then we're able to learn about that individual family and connect them with the resources and education they need to move towards self-sustainability.
Well, that's really good. And I heard that a phrase, build a path.
Yes.
Build a path. What does that mean?
So it depends on the family and their situation. First of all, they come to us for food. So if somebody is in survival mode, they can't think past, how am I going to eat today? How am I going to feed my kids today? But once we meet that need, they can start really looking forward. Do they need help with childcare, with education, with budgeting, with substance use, rehab, healthcare, insurance? For 1,000 families, there's 1,000 different reasons why they may be experiencing food insecurity. So we really want to work with each individual family to help them build that path. What is it they need to move from one place to another in their lives?
Well, you guys, Least of These is very unique, I think, in the things that you do. It's a lot more than just food. Okay. And what you're talking about is education, helping people change their life, improve their lifestyle. And so, what about a success story? Can you give us an example
Do you
of a
mind?
success
Do you
story?
mind if I share one?
Go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, you can share too. I mean, that's fine.
So I would love to share a success story. We have so many of them, but I want to talk about a grandmother that came to us recently. She was living in an RV on a rented lot. She had been working as a server in a local mom and pop restaurant for many, many years, and she was making it. She was barely making it, but she was getting by until she suddenly found herself with custody of her two young grandchildren, boys.
Oh,
And that happened, almost overnight. Now
Mhm.
she's feeding two young boys, and she came to us for food and was so thankful because without that food, she didn't know how she was going to pay her lot rent. She was afraid that they were going to end up sleeping in her truck. Well, then the mom and pop shop closed up.
Oh,
So now she has custody of her two young grandchildren and has no job. And she was just in complete crisis trauma mode, which most families are when they come to us. Well, we were able, of course, to provide food. So those little boys didn't go hungry. Grandma didn't go hungry, but we're also able to share some job search tips with her, some budgeting tips with her. We were also able to provide some other resources to her. But most importantly, we were able to provide some job leads. Our volunteer interviewers knew the kind of work she did. And so as a team, and we have about 300 consistent volunteers. So as a team, we were able to kind of pull those ideas and job leads we knew about that would fit her skills, and she was able to secure one of those jobs within a few weeks. And she came to us for a few months till she got back on her feet and established. But thank God that we were there, and we were, she just came for food and didn't know. We were able to provide her so much more and make sure that those babies didn't go hungry. And we're so thankful that we were able to do that.
Well, that's a wonderful story, and I hear this all the time. Working at the courthouse in Ozark, we have, and I know have friends. Unfortunately, we have friends, Jen and I do, that are grandparents, just like we're grandparents. And unfortunately, a lot of grandparents end up having to take care
They
of
do.
their grandkids. And it's not just isolated. I hear it all the time. We see the court cases all the time down in Ozark. And so that really, us seniors didn't plan on that. And
Right.
so financially, it really starts a burden
Yes.
that really is hard. So
Especially for those that are already on fixed incomes.
oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
And then-
and honestly, I tell people, all people are on a fixed income, even if you're younger and you're working, until you get a next raise, which is not guaranteed, and to kind of work with the cost of inflation going up all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's strapped,
Yes.
and so, well, you have another success story, or we want to go on?
Well, I would just add to that too. I think it's so important for people to understand that, you hear the saying, you never know what somebody else is walking through, just be kind, right?
Mhm.
And I think that's the same situation, even with those coming into receiving our services. We never know what somebody is walking through. And a
Right.
lot of times people think, oh, they're taking advantage of this or they just need to get a job. That's not the case. I think we really need to educate people on some of those circumstances, like the story that Jackie shared of why people are needing these services.
yeah, I did a little background check. You don't just take walk-ins. They have to apply, they have to do paperwork, they have to produce evidence that they really are in need. And I noticed that you're 100% 4-star charity rating from Charity Navigator. I go out there quite a bit because I have to look up nonprofits
Yes.
to see where money is going. And I was really pleased with that. Can you talk to how you can tell donors that their donation goes to an authentic 501c3
Yes.
and that no money gets wasted at all is well stewarded?
Yes, absolutely. Like Lynn mentioned at the very beginning of the show, I'm new. I think in week maybe 6 or 7 here. But one of the things that I have to commend our staff on is I'm going to share some numbers with you. So, for example, in 2024, we fed 42,900 mouths, and that is equivalent to over 14,000 families that we served.
Mhm.
And of those, 16,072 were children. We had over 8,500 of those were seniors, and we had over 1,000 were veterans. We pushed out the door over 2 million pounds of food. And I want to share that with you because you mentioned about being good stewards of our dollars. We have a very lean staff. We are doing that all with 7 people.
Mhm.
And
2
so,
of those are part-time.
yes.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
when you think about that,
So it's not the overhead of the organization. This goes as much as possible to the people who the donors hope it will go to.
absolutely. And we have great, like Jackie had mentioned before, great staff person who does our buying for us that is very committed to getting the best deals possible with really good food. Protein's always at the top of our list of
Mhm.
like, how can we get good deals on that? And she is very vigilant on that, which is so amazing. And then just our staff and their commitment to what they do. That's how we're able to do it. And I can't go without mentioning our volunteers. We have about 200 to 250 each month that are very committed. Each one of our distributions, we have anywhere from 50 to 60. And these volunteers show up every single time. They
Mhm.
treat it like a job. They are
Mhm.
so committed to meeting the need. We couldn't do what we do and run it with such great stewardship if it wasn't for our volunteers. So we are so grateful for them.
Yeah, so we were talking a little bit before the show about the name least of these, and I was mentioning that it was Jesus in the scripture who said, "If you do this for one of my lambs, you do it for me. If you do it for one of the least of these, you do it for me." So, and then I was mentioning, because I'm an academic nerd, and I love the study of our history as a country, and the fact that Alexis de Tocqueville came from France to see how does America do it, and he was really um, investigating to take the story back to Europe and say this is how it's done, and he flatly, clearly, explicitly states it was the faith-based culture that prompted Americans to give to charity and to volunteer. And that's how the culture can thrive without socialism, which was thriving in Europe at the time. Uh, our country has kind of moved towards socialism, and now it's painful. But because government is not a good steward all the time, the belief is that we should bring it back to the local level, and you guys are the instruments of that. I'm so grateful for what you do, but it means that you're going to become even more important and more visible in the community, because we're not going to be counting on the feds, which brings up the SNAP programs. Tell us what's happening now.
Absolutely. That has definitely affected us.
Mhm.
We are seeing an increase of, we're getting 25 new families each day that are calling in and needing services, and these are working families.
Mhm.
And so, not only in addition, we have the increase always through the holidays, but we are definitely seeing a significant surge that is happening due to the SNAP benefits. And again, like I mentioned, these are working families, so we've had to add some additional evening distribution opportunities so they're able to come and get food as well.
Well, I tell you what, and we were talking before the show, the four of us, and we just are praying and hoping that the government ends that shutdown where we can start back in December with payments. And again, because this is just crazy that we can't help these people. And I know that in the country it's amazing the numbers. We have about 44 million people in the United States that use the SNAP program. And most of those people are older folks and younger kids. And so those are two vulnerable groups of people that we need to make sure that we're taking care of. And then in the state of Missouri, I think that I was trying to think. I think is it about 600,000 people? Do you know
It's
the
a
number?
little more than 650,000.
Yeah. So, we've got about 6.3 million people in our state. And then so 650,000 people are now suffering in the state of Missouri. And we've got 49 other states watching this show right now. So they've got a problem in every state in this country because the government I just don't think they're working together. We got to figure this out. We got to figure out how to stop this and start moving forward again. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about volunteers. You have some type of volunteer day coming up, right? Is there something coming up? I think I saw
Yes.
that.
Well, people can enroll at our website, leastofthesefoodpantry.org, to volunteer anytime and whatever their passion, their skills. If they want to learn new skills, we will plug them in because we have a warehouse and logistics and heavy equipment. We also have office work, reception, interviewers. We have people who shop, who push shopping carts. We have people who come in and paint and repair the building and clean up the parking lot and the property. So whatever they want to do, they can do. But you're talking about our Christmas meal packing event,
That's right.
which is November 17th, which is a Monday.
Okay.
Starting
and not far away. Only
No.
12 days away.
No. November 17th at 6 p.m., we will pack Christmas meals. We don't pack the turkeys, hams, whatever. I'm not even sure what we're given. I think they get a choice for Christmas,
they
turkey
do.
or ham. Those cold items stay cold until they come to pick up their regular monthly grocery order. But we're packing all of the dry, non-perishable stuff into bags. So that is ready to go when they do come and pick up their groceries. And we will have generally between 200 and 300 volunteers that show up to do that. And we just packed our Thanksgiving meals, 1,600 meals for Thanksgiving in 1 hour, almost to the minute.
Yeah.
1 hour.
We had 262
Yes,
volunteers that showed up
262.
to
That's
pack
just
that.
amazing.
It is
And-
amazing.
And volunteers are the lifeblood. I mean, it's got to have smart people like you that are leading the group. But if you didn't have volunteers, and all these nonprofits, if they didn't have volunteers, so they are certainly difference makers too. Every volunteer is a difference maker.
And we
You
talked
couldn't do it
about
without them.
absolutely not. And I mentioned, we have about 300 consistent volunteers, and that's whether they come once a quarter, once a month, once a week. There are many who have been with it. This is our 27th year. There are several who have been with us from day one. A lot who have been with us 20 plus years, and there are so many. I'm full time, and there are a lot of volunteers who are there in the office as much as I am working.
Yeah, my wife and I, if we had take care of use your service. I was just thinking, I love ham, and my wife loves turkey, so that'd be a problem. I guess I'd have to go with a turkey
Because she'd win the
She'd-
argument.
she'd-
Well-
That's the way it is in my house too, Lynn. So my husband likes ham and I like turkey.
Yeah.
So,
Get one for Thanksgiving and freeze part of it so you
Yeah.
can have both.
yeah,
Christmas.
That's
yeah,
right.
that'd be good. Good idea. So there you go.
Well, I like the way you make it convenient too. They don't necessarily have to come to your plant, your facility to drop off. You're coordinating with fire stations now. This is a first year you mentioned that you'll be coordinating with fire stations.
Yeah. So the Ozark and Nixa Fire and the Fire Academy are collecting food for least of these right now. And from what I understand, they're going to be doing that through the month of November annually. This is just the first year. But I will tell you, we are so thankful for that. And there are so many businesses because the need is so great now. You mentioned the SNAP pause. The need is so great right now that our community is really stepping up. So many businesses are collecting food to donate to least of these. And we appreciate that so much. It's going to take everybody and every dollar and every can to feed the people through this time.
Okay, let's get back to dollars. Why is it more effective for a donor to give a cash donation rather than come and deliver cans?
yeah, absolutely. So we can do a full, and I mean very full cartload of food for $64. So you can imagine, like, I go to the grocery store and get a cartload of food, and I mean, my bill is double that, sometimes triple that. But
Right.
we're able to provide a cartload load of a cart full of food for $64, and it's usable food, like I mentioned before, like the protein, the dairy, the produce, along with those shelf stable items. So we can actually, our buying power is just greater. We can take someone's dollar a lot further, again, like we talked about
You
already.
buy in bulk.
Yeah, we buy in bulk, and then we look for the deals.
Mhm.
And we have great relationships with Associated Wholesale Grocers. We buy from Ozarks Food Harvest. We also have a great relationship with Convoy of Hope that has provided food for us as well. And so we are just able, though, when we purchase those items, we can just get a lot more for a dollar than somebody going to the grocery store can.
Right. Talk to us about how you coordinate with churches too. What you did with changing your clothing donation program.
Yeah, go ahead, Jackie.
So we did have a clothing ministry up until the height of the pandemic, and Ozark First Baptist called and wanted to expand their clothing ministry at that time. So we loaded ours up and took it to them because we needed the warehouse space for food. Food is our main mission, as we already talked about. That's how we really connect with families. We fill that gap, that survival need, and then we're able to really take deeper dives with them and connect them to other services. So we are happy that we have so many partners, like that church partner that decided they wanted to expand. They do what they do, and we do what we do, but we have so many partners that we work with throughout the community. We have over 200 church and nonprofit partners that we work with to provide whatever just because least of these doesn't provide it doesn't mean we don't connect people to that resource.
Yeah, I think that's really important. First Baptist Church, that's where Jan and I donate all our clothes to their clothing mission. And I tell you what, and every time we've made a donation and I've helped carry it in, there's people there. There's people there that need a jacket, they need a blouse, they need a shirt, they need a pair of pants, they need shoes. And so it's just amazing the need that is out there. And I think that's a great thing that you guys are helping to meet that need. I just think to myself, I'm just getting pretty old, and I'm just trying to figure out where this all started. When I was in school, and my dad was just an average person, made probably an average amount of money every month, and my mom didn't work until we were out of school, and then she started working part-time. That's the way most people did back then. Their wives didn't work; they stayed at home, and everybody, we didn't have that many people that were in need. And now we just continue to grow the need. Thank goodness we have people like you. And I just have a feeling that the federal government and the state government that Mary's still involved in, and I'm not involved in state government anymore, but I just think that they're going to keep cutting. The United States is almost $38 trillion in debt. That's just too much. And I don't know when that's going to end and blow up, but they're going to have to keep cutting. Unfortunately, the state's going to keep cutting. They're starting to make some cuts. That means that the rest of us, the people that are blessed, there's a lot of people that are blessed that have more than they need. And we're going to have to help those people because that's what Jesus said. And that's what we know.
Yes.
Yeah, and he said
we
the
know.
poor will always be with you.
Yeah. So I'm
So just plan on it.
I'm
That's kind of
challenging people to step up. So
Yep.
let's go with the website again, because here's the deal. You just heard Angela say that she can do a lot more with a dollar than she can with a can of food. We appreciate, so keep giving all those cans of food and everything that you give to least of these actual food items. It makes a difference, okay? But even better, we now have people in Southwest Missouri watching this show. We have people in other states, and I know there's a lot of wealthy people who have been blessed many times over, and you can help. This is an organization that does not waste $1. You can help, and so what website do they look at?
They will go to leastofthesefoodpantry.org.
.org. Okay,
Yes.
least of these foodpantry.org. I think it's on the bottom of your screen. And I think this is really, really important. Okay.
So the geographic area you serve is Christian County?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the applications you take have to be Christian County residents? Is that how that
Yes.
works?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
And what would be your parallel organizations in other counties? Do you coordinate with them?
So Greene County is Crosslines.
Okay.
So that's another great resource. And then I know that there are some churches that, I don't know if Jackie, you know of a couple of churches that do have actual food pantries in their congregation.
James River,
Yeah.
we once a month, everybody puts a bag at the bumper,
Mhm.
and then they have a golf cart in it. And actually, they fill that golf cart many times over and take it inside, go back and forth while the service is going on. But there's a lot of churches in Christian County that do that.
Mhm.
I'm sure around the area.
There are a lot of churches. Most of those are smaller pantries that provide emergency staple, which is very important.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And those are our partner. We consider those our partners. They're providing emergency
Short term.
goods
Yes.
until people can come to us
Uh-huh.
to get more of what they need. I was going to mention too, in Stone and Taney County, it's Christian Action Ministries, or
Yes.
CAM.
Yes.
They're larger food pantries, and because of the government's guidelines, the USDA foods, et cetera, are restricted by county or area, which is why. So we do have a handful of people outside Christian County that we serve. We work on a case by case basis. Yes, we serve Christian County, but if somebody is in Stone County and can't get to Blue Eye or Crane, where those pantries are, but because they work in Nixa or Ozark, it just makes more sense
Right.
for us to provide their food. But we also have mobile pantries in Chadwick, Spokane, and Clever. So we're meeting needs. We have a really long county, so we're meeting needs where they are when we can.
What does a mobile pantry look like?
Very similar to if they were coming to get groceries, and go through the system and the process at our physical location. They get to choose their foods just like everybody else. But what we do is then we pre-box those for them.
Okay.
So they're pulling up. We have everything loaded on a truck, and it's stickered by county and by name. And then they pull up. They go through the same process. They meet with an interviewer. They're able to then get their next month's food sheet, so they can choose what they want for the following month, and then we load those groceries up into their car.
And so you have points, drop off points where they come and meet the truck.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
We serve by appointment, so
Mhm.
they will have an appointment to pick up
And
food.
it's a big truck. I don't know how many feet it is, but it's a big truck that holds a lot of stuff.
Yes.
So,
Mhm.
so-
Angela mentioned the food sheets, the menu of items. So they're filling that out for the next month while they're getting their grocery order for this month. That does a lot of things. Choice, first of all, preserves dignity. They're
Yes.
choosing what goes in their cabinets and freezers, just like everybody
And they
else.
won't eat what they don't like.
And they
That's
do cross
true.
off
They
what
cross
they
it
don't.
off.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that eliminates waste. I've heard so many times, I can't use that. I won't use that. Give it to someone else.
Mhm.
They don't want to take what they're not going to use. But another thing it does is it allows them to budget. They know they're getting a ham or turkey for Christmas from least of these, so they can and the other items that go with that holiday meal, and they can use their money to buy other things, to put gas in their car, to keep going to work,
yeah.
to pay their rent. It just does a whole lot of things when they have that menu of items and they already know a month ahead of what groceries they're getting the next month.
Mhm. And I want to point out, you mentioned holiday meal. We've talked a little bit about that. I did mention the cart full of groceries, but we can actually do a holiday meal for a family for $30. So
Wow.
again, if even somebody out there watching today is like, oh, that might stretch me a little bit to buy a cartload of food, you could buy a holiday meal for somebody for Christmas this
Well,
year.
that'd be a great thing.
Yeah.
That'd be a great
And
thing.
food is such a part of our culture during celebrations.
It is.
I'll tell you, at our house, a long time ago, we figured out we don't need things under the tree. It was the meal. It was the special, because I don't cook the rest of the year, but I will cook for holidays because those are the family recipes, the traditions that get passed down from year to year. And that's when the smells fill the house, and people know that you have to be home for dinner. All right, because that's a special celebration, and it is. So it's part of the sharing of our culture and remaining connected to the culture and the community, that holiday meals can be provided. It's more than filling your stomach.
It is. It's you talked earlier about the country, going back to providing and sharing, supporting one another.
Real
And
charity.
yes, and those holiday meals for families are so important because it's comfort, it's community, it's sharing with one another, making those memories, those family traditions. It's just bringing joy and warmth, and also putting food in their bellies at the same
At
time.
the same time.
The holiday meal is so important, and especially, if they're a family of faith, those holiday meals are even more important.
Exactly.
Especially at Christmas
Because
time.
it's part of that day.
Yes.
Yes.
Going to worship and then having this special food.
Mhm.
So I'm grateful for that.
Yes.
Everything that we do brings memories. It's
Mhm.
something that whether you have a good day, bad day, whatever, you're going to have memories. And as you get older, those memories, you start thinking about all these memories that you've had, experiences that you've enjoyed. And I would just tell people that, yes, these holiday meals, Thanksgiving, Christmas, these family gatherings are extremely, extremely important. And we need to make sure that every one of those families needs a great holiday meal. And then just think about it. We're going to be into the new year, 2026. We don't know what that's going to be like yet. And I would just remind people, don't just stop giving and helping people after the holidays. Go ahead and continue to donate food or money to least of all these other food pantries. I know there's food pantries all over this country, so we've got people watching now. So if you're someplace else in Oklahoma or South Carolina or Texas or someplace, take care of your own people. But we here in Southwest Missouri, we need to take care of our people. But there are people somewhere in this country that could afford to help us too in this area and help our people. And then the other thing that I would like to say is the county. I just started just a little bit this year. The National Association of Counties has a Good Neighbor program. And so we signed up for that. And so we started talking about what a good neighbor would be, and what that means. And so starting in January of this next year, we will have a 12-month program that culminates in November about Good Neighbor. We'll choose some winners, and we're going to have prizes for them. Businesses will donate. And so we're going to really make it a big deal, because I think if you want a really good county or a city or a town to live in, I think good neighbors is what we need to promote. Check on your neighbors, check on them, especially the older folks. Make sure that they don't need something. Maybe you could go buy them something. Just check on them to make sure they're okay. Some people don't have anybody checking on them.
Right.
And so I think that's really important. So we'll work with you. We'll work with least of these through the county. 12 months a year, starting in January, we'll be working with lots of people, trying to encourage people to send us their stories. What have you done this week for your neighbor?
And what occurred to me is turning off the television and getting out there and connecting with people, instead of filling your head with or filling your time with something that's not productive but just an attention grabber. You can be a difference maker. How about that?
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, and I tell you what, you will never turn down volunteers either, probably.
No.
Because you're always going to need them. There's always going to be somebody sick or not able to volunteer that used to be a really great volunteer. So you always need more volunteers. They need volunteers, and do that. Okay,
I was going to mention one other thing really quick. You mentioned, and thank you for mentioning about, yeah, we see the need right now because of the holidays and because of the SNAP and the government workers that are not getting paid. But and thank you for mentioning for people to remember January, February, March, because
Right.
there's a ripple effect with that. So some of those things that people are missing out on, it's going to take a little while to catch up.
Right.
Mhm.
And so I can see that our needs will continue to stay very high until people get stable again. And so we really appreciate you mentioning that because it is really, really important to understand that, yes, maybe things open back up and the benefits come back, but there has been some other things that maybe had to go by the wayside that they have to get caught up on. And if we can still provide the food for them that they don't need to worry about so they can get caught up is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're exactly right. So,
And I want to mention too, we've talked about donations, which we urgently need right now, especially, but all year long, and volunteerism, but also advocacy. If you can't donate or volunteer and you're in Christian County, come and take a tour, learn more about us, and then share what you learn with your neighbors and be an advocate for least of these and fighting food insecurity.
all right. Least of these,
Do you
foodpantry.org.
offer a kind of speakers bureau where organizations can contact you and you'll
Yes.
come and talk about
Yes.
it?
Absolutely.
Well, please tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, they can contact Jackie.
Yes, contact me, and we will coordinate and schedule a time for somebody to come and speak with your business, your organization, your church, whatever it may be, your your bingo group, your poker group. I'll come and talk to anybody anytime about least of these.
Me
So
And how
too.
do they contact you?
at least of these, foodpantry.org. My email address is available there, or they can just call. It's 417-724-2500, and they could get put through to me that way.
724-2500, 417-724-2500. I know that Jackie, when we go to chamber events, Ozark, Sparta, Nixa, Clever, she's there. She's always there. And so any type of event like that, you guys always have representative. It's usually Jackie. Now we're going to take this a short break. I'm going to talk about two sponsors and then we're going to have you guys give the last words. So this has been very interesting, a very important group of people. You guys are certainly helping people. So our first sponsor is Brad Pistow. He's a certified fiduciary financial planner located right in Ozark, Missouri. His business, they just changed the business name, is now called Ozark's Retirement Group. And Brad Pistow is my certified fiduciary financial planner. He has planned all our retirement planning for my family, a lot of my friends, a lot of business associates, and he's absolutely probably the best in the state of Missouri. And he's licensed in now 20 states. He added 2 more states. So he can help in a lot of areas. And then he has business associates in the other states that he's not licensed in. So does not charge to talk to him. And you can call and you can get a lot of free information. You can call 417-581-9222, 417-581-9222. Lisa will answer the phone. He has written 2 #1 best-selling books on retirement planning. One is called Safe Money Matters, and the other is Bulletproof. And those books, they can send those books to you. They can send you information. If you live anywhere in the area, he'll talk to you in person. And he contributes to Wall Street Journal. He contributes to USA Today, business section, finance section. He travels all over the country. That's why he has associates and all. He is sought out as a speaker on retirement planning, so he travels all over the country. I just highly recommend him. He has made our life secure, and honestly, he has this slogan that says that you will run out of life before you run out of money. You don't want to run out of money before you run out of your life. Okay, that's a worry for seniors. They worry that they're not going to have enough money. He has tremendous financial plans that will help you. Okay. The other sponsor that we have is Springfield Nissan, Springfield Kia. It used to be Youngblood Motor Group. They're located on South Campbell. The new cars, Nissan and Kias, are on one side of Campbell, 3505 South Campbell, and they go on down because they've got 3 addresses because they have 2 dealerships there. They have used cars on the other side of South Campbell, just right across from the new cars. They have the used cars. And I just bought on Labor Day a Kia Sorento, and I can't tell you that this car is actually as good as my last 2 Grand Cherokee Jeep Summits. That was the top Jeep that they make, and I didn't want to change dealerships, and so I bought a Kia this time, half the price, with at least as many features as my Summit had, and we're extremely glad we've had it now for about a month and a half. And so we really like the car, and you can't go wrong with the service. You can't go wrong if you buy a used car, because they have a lot of certified cars. If you can afford to buy a little bit more on a used car, but buy a certified car, they're going to go down the road many, many miles. They have over 100-point check that they do on these certified cars. They do check all their used cars, but used cars are used cars, and so that's the way. They've been in business over 45 years as a family-owned business. Aaron Swanson comes here. John Whittaker comes here and talks to us as a sponsor, and I highly recommend these guys. They have car buyers from several states,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's not just in the Springfield area. It's all over because of their reputation. So those are our 2 sponsors. They make our show possible. And so we really appreciate these guys, and they're very generous. Both of these gentlemen are very generous to different groups,
Including us.
Yeah, including us. And so we highly.
Oh, and to least of these.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so Brad Pistol is a huge supporter. We're so thankful for him. He's a big supporter of our Night at the Pantry
You see, I
event.
didn't know that. Well,
And-
yes, I do, because the tent.
Yes, and
Yes.
Springfield Kia is also a big sponsor for our Night at the Pantry fundraising event. So we're
Yeah.
thankful for both of them as well.
There are two great gentlemen that have organizations that are very generous. They will help other people. Just like I said, they can afford to do that, and they really help a lot of organizations. So they've always helped me on my radio show, this show, everything, and it's amazing how many people that they've helped, like you guys. So I'm really glad, and I try to do business with them. I try to push business because I know they won't let you down, and they help people. Okay, so last words. What do we need to tell the people?
Well, I would like to just share again that people can make a difference right now. We are so grateful to everybody who has been donating. So those that have been supporting us financially, a huge shout out and thank you to those people that have done that. But those that are listening that maybe have never heard of Least of These, or maybe that they would consider, making a donation, like buying one of those holiday meals or a cart full of groceries for us to be able to continue to meet the increased need. And also, if you pray, we ask that you just lift Least of These up in prayer right now. Our partners and our neighbors that we serve. I think that we all are we want to make good decisions. So for wisdom and guidance on what to do. And we know that together we can definitely bring hope and nourishment to those who need it most. And that's why we're here.
Oh, very good. Very good. Jackie, you got any last words?
Yes, we just ask once again that you donate, volunteer, advocate. You can find us at leastofthesefoodpantry.org if you want to learn more, or call me. I'll come and speak to you. You can come in and take a tour. But I know that your listeners go far beyond where we are right now. So I will say, if you can't support Least of These, learn about a food pantry or some nonprofit in your area.
There you-
Reach out and find what you love and how you want to give back, and do that, because nonprofits across this country are really hurting for help and support right now. So find one, support them.
Right. And they get a tax deduction.
We have 50% NAP tax credits for Missouri State residents.
So-
You have to qualify with business income and some other requirements, but you could contact Angela if you're interested in that. You make
Okay.
$1,000 donation, and if it qualifies, then you can take $500 directly off your Missouri state tax bill. So that's pretty important here for those
Yeah.
bigger donors at the end of
Yeah.
the year.
Yeah, so that's very good too. So anyway, shouldn't have to need a tax deduction to do the right thing, but we really appreciate everybody that's helping out. So we're going to go ahead and close our show. Appreciate you ladies being
Thank
here
you.
today.
Thank you both for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Different board meetings, and I hope that we have a great Thanksgiving and a great Christmas, and that we help a lot of people. We help a lot of people. One last thing, I know I've got a minute. One of the things I want to brag about my family, I taught my kids, and they're still doing this to some degree, is we had the money to rent a Fisk limousine because Howard Fisk was a friend of ours, and he gave us a special price. So I'd have a driver, and we'd put 14 family members. That's Janet and I, our 3 kids, their spouses, and the grandkids. Now we have a great grandson. Was not part of that. But we would get on this limousine with we would pick 3 charities every time, every year. And so instead of giving a lot of presents to each other, we just had one present for each other, and we had that great meal, okay, when we came back. But we would go, and the kids always wanted to do, and the grandkids always wanted to do a dog shelter, animal shelter. So we always did an animal shelter in Christian County, and then we did a nursing home, and then we chose something else that we did. So we let everybody help make that decision, and we had that little bus just full of presents and things. And then we went around, and the grandkids went and gave them to everybody. And it took us about an hour and a half to do 3 places. And because we spent time inside with, usually it was like a nursing home. We went to a nursing home too. And so it was just fun. And we taught them, and I would encourage other families to do something like that. You don't have to do something big. You could just pick one place that you could take food and gifts back to that group. I tell you what, it was something.
But
I'll
it's a
never
gift of your
forget.
presence.
Yeah, I'll never forget.
That,
something
it's that human interaction that lonely people are starving
Yeah.
for,
Mhm.
even after they're fed.
Mhm.
So, I would say plan on that, the gift of you
Yeah.
to somebody who will be so grateful, and it will make your holiday.
Right.
Yes.
Mhm.
All right.
Yes.
Well, hey, thanks for listening today. We'll be back next Wednesday with another great program. Thank you all very much
Thank
again.
you.
Thank
Least
you.
of these. Thank you. Have a great week.